So, here we go again. Back on the sofa with my book and just chilling, I suppose is the term. I don't know. It's just been one of those days, hasn't it? Where it's a Monday, isn't it? That's the problem with Mondays. Well, see, thinking in a podcast, do you say what day it is? Because then people could be playing it on a Tuesday. People could be playing it on Thursday. You don't know, do you? But in my world, it's currently Monday. Don't like Mondays. Let's just get this whole principle over and done with. Actually, the day I hate most is a Tuesday. See, here's my thoughts on the matter. Monday, beginning of a week. You know where you are with Monday. It's going to be rubbish, no matter what. It's beginning of a week. It's just going to be. It's just a start, isn't it? It's just a start. Then you got Wednesday. That's the middle of a week. Middle of a week. Yeah, middle of a week. You're getting there. You're halfway through. Then you've got Thursday, almost Friday. Thursday's almost Friday, isn't it? Just think you've got Friday tomorrow. Thursday, Friday tomorrow. Friday, it's nearly the weekend. Last day, isn't it? Last day you could go. Now, if you're Trevor from the book, you'd be going down the pub, wouldn't you? You'd be going down the pub. If you're like my next door neighbour, he goes down the pub every evening. But that's a different story. But Fridays is not no more work anymore, is it? You finish on a Friday afternoon, you're done. You're dusted for a weekend. Weekend's family time, isn't it? You might be religious, you might go to church, you might do things, but weekends, nice. And then Sunday night comes along. And you know, I've got to get a school uniform ready. You got stuff to do on a Sunday evening. But Tuesday, what's Tuesday got for it? Nothing. Is it? Nothing. Tuesday's nothing. It's like, it's nearly Wednesday. Yeah, but Tuesday's just a rubbish day. It's not Monday, so it can't be. It's not like it's rubbish because it's the beginning of the week. No, it's Tuesday. It's not rubbish because it's midweek. No, it's just Tuesday. Just Tuesday. Just a rubbish day, isn't it? Tuesdays. Don't like Tuesdays. It's going to be Tuesday tomorrow. Now, ironically, because I'm not working tomorrow, I actually quite like Tuesday. But again, we won't go into any of that malarkey. Because it's just days, isn't it? Days blur into one when you're middle-aged. I can't remember. Just like time just... Oh, right. A bit of an itch. Blooming beard. But it's just time. It just blurs into one big mess, doesn't it? That's the thing. It just rolls into... I just don't know. It's just like Christmas was at some point. And then soon be Easter. Well, Easter's in the shops, isn't it? But it's nearly Easter. It's just like... That's a liturgical year for you, I suppose. I suppose that's what they did, wasn't it? They just... like, made it one big long year of things. But yeah. But anyway, right. So we're back to the book now. Seems. But people have been interested in the... I don't know how many people have read this. Listened to the podcast. Probably at least 5 people now. And I've mentioned it to other people, and they have supplied information on other books. But so this actually is getting kind of a weirdness where actually there are other books to read out there in my rubbish way. So that's quite good. And I'm just getting do you know? Anyway, right, book time. Let's get on with this book. Right, we were at page 11, weren't we? If you're reading along at home, I still haven't told you what book this is. I think I actually told one person today. They looked it up on Amazon and were like, it's got a 5-star review. No, that's just they wrote it themselves. So if a review actually states this book's quite amazing, it has no paragraphs, which is quite different. Yes. Anyway, within 10 minutes, they had reached the car park next to the cinema. There seems to be plenty of parking spaces, Trevor commented as he looked around the car park. Yes, said Jane. In fact, there were whole ranks of empty parking bays, but Jane earmarked a fairly wide gap between 2 other parked cars. Why do we need to know that the car park's like half empty? I just don't understand. Are they saying that actually it's a bit of a rubbish movie that we're going to see and no one actually wants to go and see it? Or are we indicating that Jane is such a bad parker that she's decided to park between two cars when actually Trevor wants her to park miles away, so she's nowhere near anyone else's car? We'll find out, I suppose. Trevor just sat patiently while Jane shuffled the car backwards and forwards a number of times as she tried to park it centrally between the two cars. The writer is really against Jane's parking. Shocking. This was also a bit of a sore point between Trevor and Jane. There we go, you see. See, this is the funny bit coming up, I'm sure. As in the past, he had suggested that she parked where there were whole bays of empty parking spaces, but she had retorted that she found it awkward parking between the white lines that marked out a parking bay, and had particular problems gauging where she was when looking at the white line closest to the driver's side. No, she felt she had more chance of parking her car correctly if she had a car either side to act as reference points. Well, it makes sense, doesn't it? When she finally stopped the car and switched off the engine, she was able to open her door quite widely to get out. Good for her. On the other hand, Trevor's side was rather close to the car next to him, so he had to squeeze himself out of the car, making sure that the edge of his door did not impact on the side of the adjacent car. Once out, he closed the door and Jane actioned the central locking. Oh, it's so good that we've locked the car. He's really good at telling us that he likes a key, doesn't he? Because they've locked the door and now they've locked the car. Although the sun was starting to recede like my hairline, behind the town centre building. The sky was still light blue and it was very warm. It's such a good sentence and I forgot the S. So, recede behind the town centre building or buildings. I like to think that the town centre's only got one building, and that's the one we're going to. Anyway, they walked the short distance from the car to a small flight of stairs that led them down towards the cinema entrance. What did Dave want earlier? Jane asked. Oh, he just phoned to see whether I was going to watch Metcham play at home tomorrow. They joined a queue of about 40 couples outside the cinema, waiting to purchase tickets for a night's screening. They should have just ordered them online, like any normal person would have done. Trevor positioned himself on the outside so that he could see what was happening further up the queue. Within a few minutes there were 10 or so couples joining the queue behind them. Then something caught Trevor's eyes. He recognised the person from a previous attendance at this cinema. He gently leaned towards Jane. Here she comes, he whispered to her. Who? The lady selling the film reviews, he replied, shifting his eyes back and forth to indicate where the lady was. Like an eagle-eyed action man. That's what we should have put in there. Like an eagle-eyed action. Does anyone remember the eagle-eyed action man? Such an amazing thing. Little slider on the back of the head there. Eyes left, right, left, right, left, right. Oh, yes. Maybe, yeah, or Nookie the bear. Nookie the bear. I think he also had the eyes that went left and right like an eagle-eyed action man. Why was it making eagle-eyed either? I've never seen an eagle do that. No eagle has a little bit of plastic on the back of her head you can wiggle side to side to make their eyes go left and right. She was in her late 50s, walking down the queue, asking people whether they would like to purchase a film review, a small bundle of which she held in one of her arms. When was this book produced? 2030. I have never been to a movie where they have film reviews. The only film reviews I've ever seen are normally online and on Rotten Tomatoes. Or tomatoes, depending on where you're from. Anyway, Trevor stooped down slightly and pulled a face like a grumpy old person, reminiscent of the lady who was actually selling the film reviews. He slowly swiveled his head towards Jane. Would you like a film review? He asked in a voice similar to Igor from one of the Frankenstein movies, trying to impersonate the lady who was selling them. Yeah. I don't like this guy. Anyway, Jane looked at him. Don't take the mickey, she said, a little annoyed with him. Besides which, one day the wind may change and you might stay like that. No, that's folklore. There was that one girl, wasn't there, at primary school, who pulled a funny face, and then the wind did change. We all knew her. There was always one girl, wasn't there, when the wind changed, and she was stuck like that. Or a weird grimace, like an owl trying to squeeze out a fart. Which they can't do, by the way, because birds can't fart. Just a useless bit of information there. Trevor recomposed himself after being suitably chastised and looked again at the lady selling the film reviews, who was getting steadily closer to them. Chastise, a good word. Well, it certainly looks like that's what's happened to her, he said, and continued. What a soul-destroying job, just doing that. What a sort of career prospects does she have? Do you think she gets a Christmas bonus based upon the number of sales she makes during the year? It's not just, it's a job. She's obviously trying to pay her way. Back off, Trevor. Trevor then piped down as the old lady moved closer to them. She's obviously topping up a pension. No one can live on £80 a year. He looked ahead as if she didn't exist. She stopped beside him and looked up at his face. Would you like a film review? She asked in a voice remarkably similar to Trevor's impersonation. Oh, shall we try it then? Would you like... Master, would you like a film review, Master? There we go. He looked down at her. No, thanks, love. As if the lady half expected a negative reply, she had already moved on to the next couple in the queue, who also declined. She progressed further down the queue and moved out of earshot. Well, I don't think she's going to get much commission from today's sale, he commented to Jane, as he looked over his shoulder to see how far she had moved down the queue. Bloody hell, he remarked quietly. She's just sold one. He continued looking towards her. She sold two, he quietly exclaimed. Do you know, I think that's the first time I've ever seen her sell one of those, let alone two. That's not surprising, retorted Jane, as you hardly ever take me out to the cinema nowadays. Jane, that's a good retort there. Just like, yeah, put that knife in. Yes, I do, replied Trevor, vehemently. That is such a bloody hard word to say. Why did he pick that word? It wasn't long ago that I took you to see that costume charmer. Yes, replied Jane. I remember it well. That was last year, was it? Questioned Trevor in disbelief. Blimey. Doesn't time fly when you're enjoying yourself? Besides which, I've offered to take you out on a number of other occasions. Trevor, a drink down the pub with your mates is not my idea of a night out, she responded with annoyance in her voice, but kept her volume down so that others in the queue did not hear her. Trevor thought for a second. Well, the majority of films you like to see are horror films, and I can't see the entertainment in coming out to see a film that just scares the crap out of you, he said. Hey, I'm surprised he didn't use a brown trouser joke there. Well, I like horror films, said Jane, but she had given Trevor the bait. You what? He asked with a purple tone of amusement in his voice. Remember, I've been there when you've been watching those films. You don't actually see most of a film, as most of the time you're looking away from the screen for fear of seeing a frightening bit. And when something does happen, you normally get your eyes shut, while asking me what's happening. Seriously, we're on page 16. We've had too much information. This book is 200 and something pages long. I don't even think we're going to make it. What are we on? Episode 4. And I've only made it to page 16 because it's just so awful. It really is just a painful book. Jane's expression on her face changed as she timidly accepted that this was indeed the case. Trevor was on a roll, so continued. What type of roll was it? Ham roll? Cheese roll? You don't know how many times I've almost crapped myself watching those films. Well, all I can say is you should think yourself lucky that my bowel muscles are still in good shape. Besides which, there's much cheaper ways of scaring the crap out of you And that's by sitting in front of your mum's car while she's driving. Okay. Right. There are so many jokes I could do about this. Well, not jokes, but there's so many things. Bowel muscles. Come on, man. Come on, you're killing me here. Literally killing me. There's so much, just, my God. And then, like, gone for a mum joke as well. What are you? Des Lawson or something? Des Lawson? No. That's wrong. Oh. I'll remember his name at some point. True. My mum's a good driver. She's never had an accident. True, said Trevor, but I would imagine that she has caused hundreds during her lifetime. All those other drivers saying, as he animated his finger at the passing car as if he was one of the other drivers in question. What the hell is she doing? Why is she driving on the pavement? Then, bang! She didn't hit anyone on the pavement, Jane said, as she immediately defended her mother's driving. No, sorry, said Trevor. Bang was the sound of the other driver not concentrating on driving and hitting another car. It's a fact of life that all the other drivers automatically go into rubber necking mode whenever she's out driving. And what was she doing when she was driving on the pavement? Trevor was deliberate in slowing the speed of which the punchline kicked in, adjusting her rear-view mirror. Well, she knocked it with a handbag, replied Jane. My God, this is just... Why is this even in the book? It doesn't add anything. We just know that Trevor just hates women drivers. And he's a jet lad. He's just a knob. No, I'm done. I'm done at the moment. Right. Oh, no, do we want another page? Should we do another page? I don't know. We're into 17 minutes of podcast. Now, that's a bit of a worrying area because so far we've tried to keep it down to about 15 minutes because I'm sure that's all people can tolerate about my waffling and me just randomly talking about crap. So yeah. So on that note, I'm going to head off. It's a really non-busy day for me tomorrow, so I'm going to enjoy that and then get ready for all the other things that are coming. So yeah, lots of stuff. The joys of being middle-aged. Right. Have a nice day now. Well, or evening, or whatever the time is. Are we? Did anyone have biscuits? Did anyone have cheese and biscuits? Wine? Anything? Anyone actually eat anything? What are people doing? Are people actually listening to this? I'll never know. Maybe they're not. Maybe it's just me. Anyway, right. Well, if you are listening, well done. Congratulations. I'm sure you've managed to tolerate this so far. And I will speak to you again. Have a good day now.